I'm looking at the odds right now to win La Liga, they're not favourites. Real Madrid are favourites at -110, +110. You get plus numbers on Barcelona to win La Liga title. To me, the foundation is much better at Barcelona than what it currently is at Real Madrid right now.
Barcelona, it's been a fairly quiet summer transfer window for them so far. Some of that, of course, enforced because of the financial issues at the club. This is what's been going on. Most of these players leaving, as you can see there, just the one player coming in. I suppose it's one of these issues, you know, we don't fully know the reasons behind it, obviously, with all of the financial problems, but hopefully our Spanish correspondent, Phil Kitromilides, can give us a bit more on Barca's current transfer strategy.
So at the moment, Barcelona can sign players, but they can't register them. And we're in this situation where they've got 4 goalkeepers currently in the first team squad, and the 2 that are registered are the 2 that they don't want for next season, Marc-Andre ter Stegen and Iñaki Peña, and the 2 that they do want for next season, newly signed Joan Garcia and newly renewed Wojciech Szczesny, haven't yet been registered. Why are they in this situation? Well, La Liga say that Barcelona haven't yet balanced the books. We're hearing here in Spain that Barca hope to have the books balanced by mid-August, which is close, very, very close to the start of the new La Liga season. Now, key to them being able to balance the books is a report from some auditors into 100 million euros pertaining to VIP seats at the new Camp Nou. If that 100 million euros gets ratified, then Barcelona will be very, very close to balancing the books and being able to register new players. They might still have to sell some players to be able to balance the books, and ter Stegen looks like he could be certainly a candidate for being sold and Barcelona being able to balance the books. But here we are again in this situation, and it's a situation which has already cost Barcelona their #1 transfer target this summer. Remember, Niko Williams stayed at Athletic Club because Barcelona couldn't guarantee that they would register him for the start of the new La Liga season. So here we are again. It feels like Groundhog Day for Barcelona fans and journalists who cover Barcelona. Another summer, and we're talking once again about Barcelona not being able to register players.
Ian, it's obviously a lot of financial tightrope walking, as it's been for quite some time for Barcelona, as Phil rightly said there. But if they were, as all things considered, able to strengthen in any position, which one do you think Hansi Flick is focusing on?
I mean, certainly with the rumours that we're hearing right now, it looks like they're looking for a winger or maybe a number 10 to be able to support and back up the players they already have at the football club. I mean, the question would be, does a winger, does a number 10 get into the starting 11? Probably not. But the players that they're being mentioned to, obviously Rashford's been a big name that's been mentioned. Looks like he'll be relatively cheap for them if they do somehow find the money to be able to sign him and not register him, apparently. You've also heard Christopher Nkunku, you've also heard Luis Diaz. So Lucho Diaz would probably be the most expensive out of all of them. Nkunku's a good one as well, because I do think he fits the style, the way Barcelona like to play, and he's certainly someone who's shown at Chelsea that he can quietly sit on the bench, come off and have an impact. And when he does play, he can also have a tremendous impact as well. I like Nkunku. I've obviously watched him come through the Bundesliga and did a great job at Leipzig and create a big name for himself. Massive move for him, obviously, to go to Chelsea, and I still think he's been a very good player for them. And I don't think that Chelsea would want to let him go.
We saw the average age there of that Barcelona ideal starting 11. I think it was 26.2. So that is one of, I suppose, the advantages of having such a young team and being forced into it because of the financial issues. When you've got an average age of 25, 26 as they have, they aren't necessarily looking to some of these players that they need to, you know, bring in the longevity of the squad, because you've got a core group of relatively young players.
I think this is different. We heard right there from Phil Kitromilides about, obviously, another summer of uncertainty about registration of players. Let's not forget the job that Hansi Flick did do. He has calmed the storms at Barcelona, and he's actually, in many ways, overachieved and probably should have done better in the Champions League. So I think they go into this new season recognising the foundation's already there. Last season, that foundation wasn't there, Adam. They didn't have that stability. They didn't know what was happening with Olmo. They didn't know what they were going to get from Rafinha, or they didn't know what they were going to get from even Lewandowski. They didn't even know if he was going to be fit and healthy. They had no idea what was happening with the goalkeeper. Stegen obviously picking up an injury and missing a long period. Chesney comes in. That average age goes down if you take out Lewandowski and Wojciech Szczesny, which is now obviously happening. So I think, yeah, they're building for the future. And right now, the foundation is still very classy. Looking at the odds right now to win La Liga, they're not favourites. Real Madrid are favourites at -110. +110, you get plus numbers on Barcelona to win La Liga title. To me, the foundation is much better at Barcelona than what it currently is at Real Madrid right now. Real Madrid have just changed their boss. They're signing players. They're trying to get the best out of Vinny Jr. They're trying to get the best out of, obviously, Kylian Mbappe. Can they work together? They don't quite know. Barcelona, you kind of know when you go into the new season exactly what you're going to get. So I don't think Hansi Flick is losing too much sleep right now.
No, he certainly isn't. Phil's saying there that the game really for Barcelona is you've got to sell someone before you can buy someone. I think Ter Stegen is the obvious candidate, but who do you think they're going to be trying to move out potentially if they do want to sign one of these attacking midfielders or wingers that they might be looking at?
I think Ter Stegen is obviously the most one that's been spoken about going to Galatasaray. I don't know who else would want to leave Barcelona right now. If you're trying to make money from clubs, from certain big teams or big names, you've got to sell one of your big players. Barcelona don't want to do that. Obviously, right now, it's uncertain as to how they can sign and register players going forward, how much money they can spend going forward. So why on earth would you want to lose a player for 50 to 100 million? Obviously, they've made some changes already. Ansu Fati leaving to go to Monaco is one of them. They're a team that has so many players who just simply can't get into the starting 11. So you look at the bench players from last season's, and that would be the one that would probably turn my attention to. A lot of players are unhappy that they can't even break into the starting 11, but I think that Barcelona are more worried about signing players than they are losing players. I think, obviously, if we do see Ter Stegen go, I think Galatasaray is probably going to be his best destination. From what I'm hearing, he's been training away from the first team right now as they've officially come back into professional training, and that, understandably, is maybe to protect him and the transfer, because Barcelona pretty much need that to happen right now. And they've already made a signing for a goalkeeper coming through the door from Real Sociedad, and they've already signed a winger coming in from Copenhagen. So they're making moves and quietly making moves. And even if Ter Stegen did leave the club, who is a club legend, it would be a big disappointment. I don't see another player of his stature leaving Barcelona right now. I think they're just building, and they will potentially be patient in building the foundation. Because right now they've got an 11. In fact, they've probably got 16 at them that can compete with the best in European football right now. If a piece comes in, it won't be a drastic piece, I don't think.
What are we expecting from Barcelona next season? Obviously, they didn't win the Champions League. They did win the treble. You would assume that Real Madrid under Xabi Alonso are only going to get better as he, begins to work with that team. Are they going to improve on the kind of results we saw last season, do you think? Or would they stay the same kind of level?
No, I think Barcelona will improve. I mean, you have a foundation there. Obviously, Hansi Flick has really blown everybody away by his quality on the sidelines, how he handled the situation. And actually, let's look at the best he got out of some of these players. Even Olmo, who was struggling to be registered at the beginning of the season, still came in and had a massive impact on this. Lamine Yamal took his game to another level. Rafinha, Ballon d'Or candidate. Pedri, one of the best players and probably the best player in midfield right now across the whole of Europe. And then, of course, Lewandowski, who was dealing with injury throughout the course of that season. New haircut, by the way, a little bit blonde. He's looking rather impressive right now. And there is a stat out there that when he had his hair blonde at Bayern Munich, he went on to score 52 goals that season. I don't know if you believe in hair statistics, but maybe some people
Well, I mean, blonde suited Yamal, didn't he? I mean,
what about if you turn grey? Any better performance on camera, no?
we should dye our hair blonde. As I mentioned, Yamal, how we were having an interesting discussion with Witty yesterday about, with it being his birthday, he's finally turned 18, how much better can he get over the next season or so? Are we going to see, do you think, maybe the most significant jump in his career so far?
I'm going to make a controversial comment right now that I have to be careful how I word this, because I don't want to put anybody in trouble here. But Lamine Yamal right now is in a very interesting situation. He is a global superstar right now. His season has been exceptional. Could he have done better? Yes. Could have scored more goals? Yes, he could have assisted more. But I think towards the end of the season, we saw that true world-class quality coming out. And he almost was that individual that essentially got Barcelona past Inter.
Yeah, he got you off your seat. I mean, that semi-final in the Champions League, towards the end of the season, La Liga, every time he got the ball, you couldn't help but look at the TV or stand up.
Yeah, And my biggest problem now is he's become such a global superstar. You've got to be careful who you pick and choose to spend your time with. Now, the 18th birthday that you mentioned, you know, I'm hearing certain stories coming out of that birthday party. The media caught attention to it as well. Not necessarily great news coming out of that party. Also been hanging out with Neymar. You think he's a great example of someone to hang out with? I mean, to me, he has to be very careful who he picks and chooses to hang out with, who his surrounding people will be, to make sure that he develops off the field, because that will then eventually lead to him performing well on the field. So for me, get your foundation correctly as a player. Friends, family, about it. Stop bringing and hanging out with Neymar and people like that. The parties need to stop. Focus on your performance. You've done a wonderful job between now and 18 years old. Congratulations. But Barcelona are relying heavily. Because I think as Lamine Yamal has the season that I think he could have, Barcelona might just be unstoppable domestically and across European football as well. They're my favourite, Adam, right now to absolutely clean up. Whether it's registration issues, financial issues, new stadium coming, obviously what's happening off the field. This is a rested Barcelona, don't forget, who's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, it's nothing new either. They've dealt with it before pretty well, didn't they, coming into last season.